What's up, YouTube? My name is Tyler, and we're going to talk about 10 things that we know about Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer so far. Number 1. Modern Warfare 2 will be released on October 28th, and Warzone 2 will be released later in the year after Modern Warfare 2 comes out in October. They have not given us a specific date for that yet. Number 2. Modern Warfare 2 will be on a brand new engine. This new engine will allow many new mechanics to be implemented into the game. All titles that come out after Modern Warfare 2, including Warzone 2, or anything that's created by Raven or Treyarch for the foreseeable future at least, will also be on this same engine so that things will be way more compatible for Warzone 2 when those games come out, unlike the way it was for this Warzone and how much of a clusterfuck it was trying to implement these new titles that have nothing to do with Modern Warfare 1 2019 on the same engine or any of the game mechanics that don't match at all. Number 3, there will be a few new movement implementations into Modern Warfare 2. On this new engine, Infinity Ward has now included things like ledge hanging, dolphin diving is coming back from Black Ops 1, and swimming. Surprisingly, nothing about mounting your weapon has been confirmed yet in Modern Warfare 2. We haven't seen anything in trailers, we haven't seen anything in sneak peeks, and they have not said anything about it. Number 4. We are going to dive a little bit more into the swimming mechanic for number 4. With number 4, swimming in water vehicles will be in the game. They have confirmed from Charlie Intel in Modern Warfare 2. With my first thought of this, I was a little turned off by it and pretty annoyed, if I'm being honest, based off of my previous experiences with this. Swimming has not been my favorite game mechanic that Call of Duty has tried to implement. In the past, we've had guys laying at the bottom of pools with their primary weapon out, just spraying out, waiting for somebody to walk by and kill them from the water. But after taking a deeper dive. I hate myself. After diving in a little bit deeper, trying to figure out what Infinity Ward was going to do with this new swimming implementation, they did say that there will be decreased bullet velo and damage when in the water, whether you're shooting into it or shooting out from it. Swimming and using water will be mainly used as an escape route. Pretty much exclusively. You can't ADS in the water. You cannot fire your primary weapon underwater. You can only use your pistol. And if this is the way that swimming will be used in Warzone 2 and Modern Warfare 2, I actually kind of like it a lot. Number 5, maps. I gotta start with this first. We saw the map from the original Modern Warfare 2 High Rise come up and pop up quite subliminally and secretively in the trailer, but if you were looking hard enough, you saw it. And it's clear as day once you see it. High Rise was one of my favorite maps ever in Call of Duty. And this gets me really excited that maybe they'll bring in a bunch more of these Modern Warfare 2 original maps like Terminal, like Afghan, like Rust, like Scrapyard. Maybe not at launch, but as the game progresses and we get more time with it, maybe as DLCs, they'll throw these bad boys in there and give me the greatest feeling of nostalgia ever. I'll never forget grinding until 3, 4 in the morning every single night with my buddies on these maps, and I'm begging them to bring them back. But let's get back to talking about Modern Warfare 2 2022 maps. That's a mouthful. Modern Warfare 2 2022, Modern Warfare 2 2022, Modern Warfare 2 2022. Huh, that wasn't too bad. What we know about these maps so far. Infinity Ward has said that they will have battle maps, which are larger scale maps based off the POIs that are from Warzone 2. But they're built better and meant for battle maps and multiplayer, whereas when we saw these maps in Modern Warfare 2019, they were just chunks of the Warzone map that were taken and just boarded off, and that were not really meant for Call of Duty multiplayer, and it didn't have much flow to them at all. It was just a bunch of guys and chaos everywhere, and it was hard to figure out. Now, these maps will be meant for this game mode and this playlist and these play styles, and will have more flow to them and will make a lot more sense. Modern Warfare 2 will also have 6v6 core maps specifically built for 6v6 as well. They will have better flow and mechanics based on what the general population and even pro players are looking for out of their maps as well. Number 6, there will be 2 new game modes in Modern Warfare 2 that we have never seen before. The first one is called Knockout, which is a combination of gunfight and regular core multiplayer. Every player has 1 life, but you get revives like in Warzone, so if I get killed, I go down essentially first. And there's a package to secure. So I guess there's offense and defense. Offense has to go get the package or bring it back somewhere, I'm assuming. But I actually really kind of like this. Makes you work as a team a little bit more. There's an objective. It's not just, hey, let me just sit in a corner, wait for guys to run by and kill them. It just seems like a little bit more tactical version of Search and Destroy, because in Search and Destroy, you can really play as a solo and not worry about your teammates too much. But with adding the revive aspect into this really makes it more of a team game where you can use teammates to move throughout the map together. I know we talk about people holding hands in Warzone all the time, but a multiplayer is different. That's normal. That's allowed. That's one of the unwritten rules that we're okay with, I guess. Not to throw baseball terms in there or anything, but overall, I think I really like this. The sound of it. Well, I know we say that every single year. This sounds great. This sounds great. And then it turns out to be dog. But we'll see. The second game mode is called Prisoner Rescue. It's a breach and siege game mode. Again, you get 1 life, but 2 prisoners you need to rescue. Number 7, no theater mode. And it's very disappointing. As a creator, you use theater mode for a lot of things, whether it's making thumbnails, whether it's creating crazy action-packed replays of maybe your biggest, best moments from your gameplay. As well as just like crazy stuff happens in this game. And if you have no idea what just happened to you, you can go back in theater mode and figure it the fuck out. Right? Like throwing knives from across the map or helicopters getting taken down by care packages and loadouts out of nowhere. We love seeing that stuff from every different angle, especially if we had no idea that it happened in the actual game while we were playing it. Number 8, Ricochet anti-cheat will be there day 1 at launch of Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone 2, which is huge. Now, again, Ricochet anti-cheat is not the end-all be-all problem solver that we thought it would be, but there is significantly less cheaters and hackers in the game than when Ricochet anti-cheat started in the beginning of this year. Is it perfect? Absolutely not. But it has been at least a deterrent for some people, I guess. I know I have been seeing an uptick in hackers and cheaters again the last couple of weeks in Warzone. But again, it has been drastically less than it was when I first started playing. Number 9, Gunsmith. Gunsmith is making its return to Call of Duty and Modern Warfare 2 this year. They have confirmed that it will be more than 3 attachments, but definitely less than 10 attachments that we had in Vanguard for your weapons in Modern Warfare 2 when it comes to the Gunsmith. But this year there is a very big change going on in the Gunsmith, which I actually personally really like. I'm going to read you this tweet from Charlie Intel that explains it a little bit more. Attachment tuning in Gunsmith. Gunsmith's attachment tuning is very precise. You can fine-tune attachments, but each comes with a positive and negative effect on the weapon. The tuning system unlocks for weapons once you level weapons up to a certain level. So essentially what this means, guys, so when we go to our Gunsmith, when we were playing the game, we're working on our loadouts and such, you always see when you're trying to pick your attachments up and down the list, right? It has the green attributes with the little plus sign in the circle next to it, and it has underneath of that the red attributes, which means that if you attach this attachment, those are the things that are going to happen to your gun positively, and these are the things that are going to happen to your gun negatively, which is like if we get a ton of horizontal and vertical recoil prevention, underneath of that usually it's like sprint to fire speed or aim down sight speed that gets taken away, right? With this attachment tuning, you can really fire up that recoil control. But as you fire up that recoil control and make it higher, those negative attributes, whether it's the sprint to fire speed or the aim down sight speed, will equally drop, and get lower. So if you really want your reticle not to move at all and be still as day like the ACR, then you're not going to be able to stop sprinting to fire nearly as fast. You're not going to aim down sight nearly as fast. And so you got to play with it. It's a balance. So it just gives you more personality to your own weapon and it really makes your weapon yours. So not only are you picking different attachments, whatever you want, but you can also manipulate those attachments in whatever manner you choose to make that weapon better for you and your play style. They really are seeming to cater to everyone's specific play styles this year, and they want everyone to have their own feel and personality in the game. And number 10, I don't know how I feel about this yet. Typically, I hate this. I hated it in Fortnite. I hated it in pretty much every other game that they put bots in. But there will be AI and bots in multiplayer and Warzone, so they say. These bots will be fully lifelike and aware of their surroundings, even being able to flank enemies once they visually see you. The way they explained it is it's really meant to help them with skill-based matchmaking. I know, over all the eyes on that one. But it seems like skill-based matchmaking is here to stay forever. I could cry a tear of sadness for that. But the way that it's meant to help skill-based matchmaking is there's those really, really low-level players that don't belong pretty much playing against anyone, as sad as that is. that they will throw a lot of these bots into that level of matchmaking and keep them in their own lobbies and their own games, and maybe bump those lower but not so god awful players into the middle class, and middle class will play against each other. Then you got the upper tiers and the upper tiers and the upper tiers that are all going to play against each other, and it just is meant to bump up some of those low skill players into the medium threshold to give a bigger pool for everyone to play against. That's the way they explained it. We'll see how it actually works out. But again, bots are never a good thing in my opinion, and when it comes to multiplayer, guys. So again, fingers crossed, praying for the best, but not excited about that one. That is the 10 things that we know about Call of Duty multiplayer Modern Warfare 2 so far for 2022. If you think there's anything that I missed, or you've heard things that leaked on Twitter or leaked on Reddit or things like that, please don't be afraid to comment those in the comment section below. And as always, guys, like this video and subscribe if you could. It really goes a long way to helping me. Happy shooting, y'all.
I shake hands and I take chances on the girls that smoke tree. That's high standards. Got 'em like, goddamn it, I'm out here killing it. You don't